Live. Yeah, live. I want to look at Son of God. Believe it. It's not that difficult to look at Son of God. So this morning at 10:05 a.m., I'm going to look at Son of God. Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Matthew chapter 4, verse 3. The tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command something." In Matthew chapter 4, verse 6, again, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down." Then in Matthew chapter 8, "What business do we have with each other, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us?" Chapter 26, Jesus kept silent. The high priest said to him, "I adjure you by the living God that you tell us whether you are the Messiah, the Son of God." That's Matthew 26. Matthew 27, verse 40. "You are going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." Matthew 27, verse 43. He trusts in God. Let God do something if he delights in him, for he said, "I am the Son of God." Matthew 28. The centurion and those who were with him keeping guard over Jesus, when they saw the earthquake and the things that were happening, became very frightened and said, "Truly, this was a Son of God." Most places reads, "the Son of God." Mark chapter 1, the beginning of the gospel of Jesus, the Son of God. Most places you will read Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I don't see that God has a son named Jesus Christ. I do see that God has a son named Jesus. In Mark chapter 3, verse 11, whenever the unclean spirits saw him, they would fall down before him and shout, "You are the Son of God." And this had never happened before. There's no record of unclean spirits doing such a thing. And in Mark chapter 15, when the centurion who was standing right in front of him saw the way he breathed his last, he said, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." In Luke chapter 1, verse 35, an angel is speaking to someone, and he tells this one that he's speaking to, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. And for that reason, the child shall be called the Son of God." In Luke chapter 3, verse 38, you find a list of sons. And in that verse, son of Enosh son of Seth, the son of Adam, the Son of God. In Luke chapter 4, verse 3, as in Matthew, and the devil said to him, if you are the Son of God, tell this stone to become bread. In chapter 4, verse 9, Jesus was led to Jerusalem, and it says he stood on the pinnacle of the temple, and he heard, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here. In Luke chapter 4, verse 41, demons were coming out of many shouting, you are the Son of God. And Jesus rebuked them and told them not to say anything because they knew something that he didn't want announced. In Luke chapter 22, they all said, are you the Son of God? And he said, yes, I am, or you say that I am. But God had already made it clear that Jesus is indeed his son. Now, why people have a problem believing that Jesus is the Son of God? I guess they are unlearned. Are you unlearned? Or have you been taught lies? Have you learned lies? Jesus, the child that was born, that grew up and was crucified at Jerusalem, was indeed absolutely the Son of God, born in Bethlehem. And that's about it for now.